You're not currently in a rivalry. Sooner or later, you'll probably be asked by the media who you consider to be your rival. Think carefully who you select, as while you will receive acclaim for beating them, you'll lose acclaim if you fail to do so.
Thanks for dealing with that. The department appreciates it.
Got pole position.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Can we talk about Mercedes? There have been some tweaks to the power unit regulations, of course, and I have to say it doesn't seem, so far at least, that they've been able to keep up.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going. DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. That's 3 wins in a row, mate. Unbelievable work.
A hard-fought win today then, after a very difficult race. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Once again, it's podium time, and once again, it's a clear win for Alpine. The team have seen their fair share of success in Formula One, and today is proof that they've still got what it takes to thrill us all. Congratulations to everyone at Alpine. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Shaw increases their championship lead. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Shaw. Look at where they finished compared to...
Car repairs have set us back a little.
And with the cars now over the line, let's see.
Lap. We're very pleased with that.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who'll be fronting the grid. Sure. Welcome along then to what promises to be another fascinating Spanish Grand Prix. It's a race which saw Max Verstappen take victory on his first ever appearance with the Red Bull team in 2016, after that dramatic coming together of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. Will we see more moments for the scrapbook here today? The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat out this weekend. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Shaw lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, George Russell and Norris, Sainz, Gasly, Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda, Ticktum, Stroll, Oscar Piastri and Mick Schumacher, Vettel, Albon, Guan Yu Zhou and Kevin Magnussen, Schwartzman, they've taken a grid penalty, and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, now that we've got some good points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish. Nice move, good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. stuff. Well done. Fantastic drive, that's just fantastic, amazing, you deserve that race win. Well done, mate.
So after a day of mixed fortunes up and down the field, we bring today's race to a close. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
As today's winners make their way up the podium steps, the folks at Alpine have shown once again just what it takes to build a successful Formula One team. A well-deserved win for them. So let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Sure increases their championship lead. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Shaw. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was an absolute pleasure to watch.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Alpine's lead continues to grow at the head of the